All right, what's up, everybody? Glad to have you. Josh was late. I blame Josh for everything negative that has happened ever on this show and in my life, because I take no personal responsibility. You, my friend, are on mute or something. While we're getting that situated, glad to have you guys. VIP After Hours. What we do on the show is we just talk. Well, how was the week? How did we do? How were our trades? What was going on with the market? We good, we bad. Like, what's up with what's up with the week? We got you now, Josh.
You got me?
Beautiful. We do got you. Got you. We got you so good.
What up?
What up? If you guys are watching live, say hey. We like questions. We like engagement. So don't hesitate. So I'll kick it off on my end, guys. The week for me, from a trading perspective, I did not get to trade the New York session as much as I normally do. When we are running calls and kind of doing the challenge stuff and trying to lead live calls within the community, it's a little bit more difficult. So I did not get to trade New York very much. I did get to trade the Asia session, and I did really well. I was really happy with the results. I had a couple decent losses, but overall, the wins were just perfect. I had a lot of opportunity to add contracts to my trades. I had a lot of opportunities for runners. And I'll be straight with you guys. I forgot about a couple trades that just ran for a very long time. So I would say my week was positive. I was really happy with it. How about you, buddy?
Yeah, very positive week. Well, actually, ended positive. The majority of the start of this week was right at break even. We had some back and forth trades. Um, had to really kind of sit on your hands with the markets from this week. Make sure you're not over leveraging or just trying to get too greedy on a runner, anything like that. So I was right around 1500 coming into today, and I had a little bit of a happy mistake earlier. TradingView was super laggy today with the trade of eight connection and ended up making about 5K on one trade, which helps and it hurts. It kind of blew my consistency roll out of the water, but I'm never going to complain about a profitable day like that. So, end of the week, right around 6,500 month is it's been a battle. Again, markets have
Yeah.
been funky, but we are way up on the month. A
Yeah.
testing month on the discipline side of things.
There you go.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think you might have to switch your audio to the headset. I can hear you, but if you were able to switch it to the headset, I think we might get a little bit more of a clear audio from you. But man, I would agree with the month. We talked about this morning and even yesterday. You've got to have perspective. Like, you just have to have perspective. The markets are crazy. Nasdaq is crazy. Bitcoin is crazy. Gold, silver, everything is psychotic. Up until like the last 48 hours, the indices like the S&P 500, Nasdaq, the Dow Jones were just in free fall. And we recovered a little bit, but like, guys, these market conditions are pretty wild. And the fact that we're doing, not only doing decent, but we're doing pretty doggone good. Like, that's got to be taken into account. If you guys can thrive in bad markets, when the good markets roll around, it is a game changer. Ain't that right? Ain't that right?
Indeed, that it is. I can't switch my audio unless I back out and come back in. Can you hear me all right, or do you want me to
Yeah, you're
back?
fine. You're
Okay,
fine if you're up close like that.
cool. But
Cool. Yeah, guys, if anybody has any questions that's watching, don't hesitate. Like I said, we like to talk to people. We like to see where people are at. But I thought a good topic for today would be scaling. With what we do, we have a very, very high win rate. But high win rate, as we know, Josh, and as we teach, is not everything. Like, I
definitely,
see people that have a 70, 80, 90% win rate, but they're not profitable. So when I say scaling, there's a couple different ways we can look at it. We'll probably talk about both, but first and foremost is like holding on to your winners and cutting your losers short. Now we automatically cut our losers pretty short because we have a pretty defined stop loss, right?
Yeah.
But so many people, and I see at the end of the day in the leaderboard that we have, they're making $30, they're making $40, they're making $50, they lose 500. Guys, there's not a scenario on the planet where that makes any sense. So what that shows us is number one, like you're not in a place where you can scale your system or your strategy. So what are your thoughts on kind of that first part of it?
I mean, you're if you're having a streak of $40 win, $40 win, $100 win, right in that range, and somehow you're taking a $500 loss, odds are just your strategy's off. There's no scenario in my mind where that should be happening unless you're over leveraging, you're scaling into losers rather than winners. Um, you probably just need to take a look on the baseline at your strategy, and then from that point, your position sizing. If we're stuck in that little trench there.
Yeah. And I'm struggling to hear you again, man. I don't know if it's just me or what, but I agree with all of that. So I think a lot of it comes down to fear, right? Like we experience some drawdown, and then what people do is the second they start getting into profit, they get out, or their contract sizing is so small that even if they win a trade, they're only making a couple bucks. So at some point, guys, like I have a sign in my other office that says bring back common sense. Common sense is like if you're taking two, three, $400 losses and your wins are 20, 30, $40, you're not going to get anywhere, even if you have an insanely high win rate. So at some point, you got to kind of grow a pair. I don't know if that's politically correct anymore, but at some point, you got to, have some gumption and hold on to your winners a little bit, especially if you're experiencing big losses and small winners.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first part of it. Um, anything else on that side of it on just like winning those trades and or letting those trades roll out?
I think you kind of nailed it. I, I don't really want to add anything on top of that. It doesn't need to be more complicated than it.
Yeah. Then obviously the other thing is, and we're real big fans of this, is if you're doing prop firms, like that is how you scale. If you're doing prop firms, like we don't push everybody to prop firms. In fact, we think for some people it's actually more expensive. But for those people that are doing prop firms, the way that you win is not adding contracts to one account. You don't go from 2 contracts to 5 contracts to 10 contracts on one account and scale that way. How you scale is you actually go the opposite direction with more accounts. So now, like if your goal is $500 a day, you got 5 accounts, it's $100 per account. Well, that's a very, very small contract size versus trying to hit $500 on one account. What you think about that?
It's exactly what I do every day, man. Been working a lot with our members in here trying to build up or scale their prop firm business, generate a little bit more income. But overall, man, it's hard to beat whenever your risk is that low. You add another account in there. If you want to make more money, it just takes one more account to get an extra 250 a day and not increase your risk overall. Don't need to take more trades. Every time you take an extra trade, you're opening yourself up for a loss. So take the same trade, use the same strategy, and just add more accounts.
Yeah, you should actually fail fewer prop firms if you have more of them. So if you're doing this correctly, like if you have one prop, I could see how you could fail that, even fail it multiple times. Like that's just kind of how it is. You got 3, 4, 5 prop firm accounts, and you're doing this where you only need to make a little bit of money each one. well, you're also risking quite a bit less per account because you're not doing more contracts, you're doing less contracts. So even if you hit your stop loss, yes, you're hitting it times 5, but a very small amount where you're not going to be blowing that account. So it's almost safer to have more. And you might be thinking, well, dude, that costs money. I understand that. But if you are in a situation where, number one, it's taking forever because of a consistency rule,
Mhm.
or number two, we talked about this a minute ago, your wins are so small because you don't want to add contracts. Well, you're gonna lose that scenario, 9 times out of 10. Talk about the consistency rule a little bit because we get around that with more props often. Not always. Like you kind of shit the bed on that today, but
I did. So, I mean,
whoops.
most props, they have some type of consistency rule for their challenge and for their past, which just means, say it's a 50% consistency rule, your largest day can't be more than 50% of your total profit for you to get a payout or for you to pass a prop. So that really makes you dial in your discipline on, your targets for your trades that you're taking and your consistency overall. And, hey, I need 100 ticks. Hey, I need 150, whatever that looks like. You can get a lot more analytical with your approach, which takes a lot of the mental pressure off of you if you know exactly what you're going for there. Can
Would
you
you
hear me
s-
right
would
now?
you What's that?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I think you're all right now. Where does diversification come into this, or does it not come into this at all? What I mean is, because we get asked this quite a bit. If I got 5 accounts, should I trade gold and S&P 500 and Nasdaq and Bitcoin? Like, what are your thoughts around like diversification, or do you just stick to one doggone asset?
As a newer trader, for the instrument you're trading, I would try and limit diversification. It's going to be really hard if you're hopping around different tickers. If you're trading, NAS one day, gold one day, silver another day, they all react differently. They all have different movements, and it's going to be really hard to learn that and know what type of targets that you should have in place there if you don't have any consistency on what you're looking at on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
Long story short, master one thing and then add something else.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the same as like an algorithm. On an algorithm, I think you should have diversification. Like one's going to perform better in this season than the next. You have a good day and a bad day, and it'll even out, that type of a thing. But when it comes to manual trading, I agree. It's kind of all or nothing. You're either going to win NASDAQ or you're going to lose NASDAQ or gold or whatever you're trading. Um, Now, you could make the argument, well, say I'm trading EAT across 5 different assets and I win 3 of them and I lose 2 of them. You could, but you're not going to get mastery. It's almost like you're going to desensitize it so much that you probably won't gain an edge. I think we have a little bit of an edge on something like NASDAQ just because we've been in it so much. As an
Mm.
example, today, I talked about today, man, my bias is that we're moving down soon. So I'm not going long. What happened at 8:30? Boom! Just like freaking tanked. That's an edge from watching NASDAQ every day,
Hmm.
and like teaching NASDAQ every day. You won't get that same edge or that same intuition if you're trying to do a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah, I'd say more often than not, the people that are hopping around different instruments, they're being reactive, not proactive. They're trying to chase something that won yesterday. There's not any other decision tied to it other than, hey, gold's on a streak right now. Let me hop over there. And even though I have no idea what's going on, I see other people winning over here. I'm going to switch everything that I've been doing and try something new.
And people do that all the time. I mean, we see people just because we're friends with a lot of our clients on social media, but I'll see like this other trading group, and I'll see a picture of Bobby. I'm like, wait a minute, Bobby, you're also trading EAT. It's the same thing. It's like the flash in the pan, shiny object thing where we just like, oh, this is working, so I'm gonna go do that. but that person's only showing you the highlight reel. They're only showing you the winning trades. You go do that, you lose money, then you come back to eat, and then you go over to whatever ICT and you try that, and then you go do trendline trading. And the crazy thing is like they can all work if you're consistent, but just the fact of bouncing around, you lose the element of consistency. Pretty wild. One of my favorite things, and I would consider this a hybrid, and you've done this well. It's Josh. Let's be honest. It's the only thing you've done well.
All right, all right.
But what you've done well, and I would say that this is diversification and this is scaling as well, is you've set it up where, you know, you will aggressively trade props, you'll get them passed, and then you just dump them into an automation, you know, and you repeat that cycle with maybe 2, 3, 4,
Mhm.
work on them, pass them, put them into an automation. Like that's a little bit of both because normally on the automations we can avoid the consistency. And they're normally pretty, you know, win or loss, you know, they're normally $100 or $150 or whatever it might be consistently. So we kind of avoid a little bit of that, but it's a little bit of both because you're putting in, let's just say it takes you 2 weeks, 3 weeks to pass them, and then you are getting that out of your hands because we know that we just human nature, we're gonna want to trade it constantly.
Without a doubt. I mean, the goal there is just buying passive income. And I'm not expecting a payout every week or every other week, maybe not even once a month from some of the past ones. But if I get a payout once every other month, it starts adding up. Then you can flow that money into buying more props, and it gets a lot easier to snowball.
I agree. Well, dude, what are we excited about? We have every time we ask this question, we have a lot going on. So
Uh,
we've got
Go ahead.
I mean, I don't want to steal. I'll do two of them. We've got we're on pace. We'll see if we hit it or not, but we're on pace to have 500 new people a part of our challenge a week from Sunday. Now we'll see. Maybe we fall a little bit short. Maybe we're 400, but still we have 400 new traders that have registered to learn how to trade EAT. I mean, that's a lot. So I think there's a reason for that. It's not our marketing because God, those ads are butt ugly. It's not that. I think there's a lot of people that are looking for consistency and they're not finding it elsewhere. So I'll start with that one. I'm excited about that next challenge a week from Sunday. If you guys have friends and family members that are interested in trading, you know, don't hesitate. They can just go to our website, blackgoldtrading.ai. They can register for that. But what else do we have that we're excited about?
I think there's some pretty big updates coming to our dashboard for our community members. Very exciting stuff, kind of consolidate all of our, I guess we can just say, opportunities into one place, make it a little more easily accessible for some people to really excel with their manual trading business and then go to, level two, the automation side of things. So I'm really excited. Again, this has been stuff we've been rolling out all year. We've been
Yeah.
adding new things to this dashboard like once a week at this point, and so far I've seen it help every member that we have here in a big way. Um, at minimum, it gives everyone in our community a higher level of accountability. Someone looking over their shoulder, because you're going to be taking the same trade I am. You're going to be taking the same trade Jordan is. Your results should look like mine at the end of the week. And if they're not, then you're either going rogue or there's some type of hurdle there that we got to address. So it's pretty cool to have that level of visibility and just get a deeper look at where people are at.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree. I
Couldn't
think
agree.
I think we can let a little bit of the cat out of the bag. We've had a lot of people ask for more in-depth mentorship. A lot of people have said, "Look, man, like I need a little bit more one-on-one, a little bit more accountability and hand-holding. Like I feel like I'm ready to go to the next level." So part of what we'll start doing here in the next couple of weeks is we'll start to open up some applications for that. Um, I'm excited about that, man. I mean, like that is, and Josh, that's kind of how you took off, was a little bit more of like the accountability. Like it's how I took off, was more visibility and accountability. We have a little bit of an advantage here at the office just because we trade, in close proximity, and we talk about our trades a lot. So just giving that to a pretty small group of people, I'm excited about that.
Without a doubt. That was going to be my thing. I didn't know we were able to talk about it yet, man.
Why after you said everything else, I had to come up with something.
Fair enough.
Yeah, no, we got some really, really cool stuff coming to the dashboard Monday, Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll rock and roll. Guys, if you're not doing so already, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. It helps the channel out. It brings visibility. If you guys are interested in manual day trading or even passive income, there's a number down here that goes directly to the team. Be more than willing to answer any questions you guys have. We also have our Discord down, or I'm sorry, our Instagram down here. If you guys are not following us on Instagram, we do a little bit more of like the day in the life type of stuff in there. But that's all I got, man.
That's all I got.
Whoop, whoop. Cool. Guys, have a great weekend. Unplug a little bit. Try not to stare at the screens and the charts. Like, there's good to have some separation. I'm a big fan of replay mode, but give yourself a little bit of a break. Your brain needs a break. Your eyes need a break. And we'll be back Sunday evening.
Heck yeah, dude.
Heck yeah. See you guys.